Alright guys, so right after the South Meeting House, we come down here to the harbor, and right here is a replica ship that would have been used by the East India Trading Company to deliver tea to Boston and the colonies at large. So this is actually kind of a resemblance of what the ship would have looked like. Now, I'm only a couple of blocks away from the South Meeting House, where they would have marched all the way down here, dressed up like Indians, at night. So that's why I'm doing this one, at night, so you can kind of see this is, down by all these buildings around me are kind of older style, looking like warehouses and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm right off the edge of Boston here. I don't get Boston was just a giant little peninsula, like a little bubble coming off the peninsula, so everything was basically a harbor around it. And so there's ships on each side of this building back here, but this is what one of the ships would have looked like that would have been used to haul the tea. And they just come down here and they grabbed it and they threw it over. That was a lot of tea actually that they threw over. So this is a stop on the Boston Tea Party. This took place on December 16th, 1773. And actually, to be honest, in 1774, all the taxes that the British had levied onto the colonies had been removed. Sugar, stamp, tea, all of it was gone. By 1774, everything other than the Ottawa Act and the self-governing part had been removed. So the colonists were more mad about not being able to home rule and being able to determine basically what products they were going to use. It had more of an impact than taxes did in Boston and in Massachusetts in general. And so now we're getting into leading into 1775 and the turn of the revolution. So this closes out 1773. 1774 is mostly peaceful here in the Boston area. There's still issues. There's quartering, so there's a lot of British regulars that are being quartered here in Boston. That's a problem, and you see a lot of the parts of our Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all stem from issues that the colonists had to deal with during this period between 1770 and 1775. Quartering, unreasonable search and seizures, the ability to defend oneself. So you have 75, you have the Lexington Concord was about hoarding and having weapons equal to that of what the government was using. The British government did not like the colonists to have enough weapons to actually equal their side and their armed forces, so they tried to confiscate everything. So you see, and also speech, if you can only talk out against the crown without being punished. So I mean, all these aspects, all of these things that are in the American Constitutional Bill of Rights stem from this period. And that's why it's important to realize that those Bill of Rights aren't just things that you could add or subtract or maybe reinterpret. These guys didn't get back from a hunting trip. These guys were making sure that these specific things were protected, and that the government, whatever government would rule this area, could not infringe upon any of those rights. So search and seizures, right to basically incriminate yourself, search and seizures, no quartering in times of peace. All that stuff stems from the things the colonists were dealing with under British occupation. So here we go. That's one of the British ships. That concludes 1773. The next video will pop up will be in Lexington, and that will be starting on April 19th, 1775, and we'll go in from that into Concord, and then we will kind of go into Bunker Hill, which takes place later on in 1775. So we'll go from April to June and things from there. All right, see you at the next stop.